Hi everyone, today we'll discuss about the topic blood relations. Now let me start with the introduction of the topic. Blood relation, as the name suggests, defines blood relations among different members of a family. In these type of questions, a chain of relationship is given as a source of information. Questions are asked based on the information. Candidate is asked to find the relationship between the people concerned. Now, significance, that is why this topic is important. Now, questions from this topic are asked in almost all the examinations, be it CAT, MAT, ZAT, Narsimunji, CET, etc. This is one of the most important topics because at least one caselet or one or two questions are asked from this topic in every exam. Now, this topic tests the candidate's ability or the knowledge about family relations or blood relations. Now, coming to the format of blood relations. Now, there are three types of formats which is usually seen. The first one is independent questions. In this type of questions, a set or chain of relationship is given in the form of puzzle, and one has to solve the puzzle, understand the relationship between the people concerned, and then mark the correct answer. The second format is caselets. In this, an entire case study is given in the form of chain of relationships, which is followed by a multiple set of questions. Again, one has to understand the family tree and solve the case study, and then answer the multiple questions. A third type is coded relations. Now, in this, relations are represented by certain symbols or certain codes. One has to decode the code and answer the multiple questions. Generally, a caselet is given in the coded form, and one has followed by 5 or 4 questions, and one has to solve the caselet and then answer the questions. Or else, independent questions are also asked from this topic. Now, tips to solve blood relation. Now, first of all, one has to be familiar with the family tree, that is different relations of a family, which I'll be taking in a couple of minutes. Now, to solve these type of questions, the easiest way is to apply the given case study to one's own family. Then it becomes very easy for a candidate to understand and then solve the questions, right? Third is one can use symbols for showing a relationship. Example, for male, you can show this symbol. For female, you can show minus. For a couple who is married, you can show double arrows. For siblings, you can show dotted lines, or you can show double arrows. So this way you have to make use of symbols for showing a relationship. You have to remember one more thing. The relationship on mother's side is called maternal, and on father's side it is called paternal. Now I'll tell you what is a family tree. Now in family tree, the topmost position is of a grandfather or a grandmother. That is your grandparents. Correct? Then comes your father and mother. So how can you show husband, wife? By showing this arrow. Okay? Then how can you show the kids of your father, mother? That is you and your siblings. Suppose it's you, then your siblings, that is your brother maybe, and your sister. You can show it by dotted lines or double arrows as per your convenience. Okay? Fine. Now just see the relationship. From paternal side, if you look, your father's grandparents will be your mother's father-in-law and mother-in-law, right? And your mother will be their daughter-in-law. Okay? Similarly, if you have a kid, for example, your brother and sister will be their uncle and aunt, right? So I'll just introduce you one by one to particular relations. Now let's say your mother or father's son will be your brother. Your mother or father's daughter will be your sister. Now, mother or father's mother will be your grandmother, be it maternal or be it paternal. We call it as grandmother, okay? Mother of father's father is your grandfather. Mother of father's brother will be your uncle. Correct? Mother of father's sister will be your aunt. Grandfather's or grandmother's son will be your father or your uncle, right? And if it's grandfather or grandmother's only son, then it has to be your father, right? Grandparent's daughter-in-law will be your aunt or mother, correct? This way. And if it's the only daughter-in-law, then it has to be your mother. Then grandson or granddaughter's daughter will be your great-granddaughter. Okay? Now son's wife will be the daughter-in-law. Now daughter's husband, son-in-law. Brother's son will be known as nephew. Brother's daughter will be known as niece. So for female we have to use niece, for male we have to use nephew. Now uncle or aunt, son or daughter will be your cousins. Your brother's wife will be your sister-in-law. Your sister's husband will be your brother-in-law. Again, your husband or wife's sister will be your sister-in-law. And your husband or wife's brother will be your brother-in-law. So this is the chain of relationship which we call in family tree. So you can depict it using your own symbols and then try and solve the caselets, which will be very easy. Now we'll start with the questions of type 1, which is the independent questions.